Imagine plunging your hand into crystal clear water so pure it's been filtered through volcanic rock for decades and reaching out to touch two continents at once. That's not science fiction. It's real. And it's happening in a fissure in Iceland where the Earth is slowly pulling itself apart. But beneath the wonder lies a hidden cost. This is the story of Silfra, where adventure meets geology and beauty comes with a responsibility. Tucked inside Thingvellir National Park in Iceland, Silfra Fissure is where two massive tectonic plates, the North American and Eurasian, are quietly drifting apart. About 2 centimeters a year, not that you'd feel it. But over time, this gentle pull tears open cracks in the land, one of which has filled with glacial meltwater and become the most surreal dive site on Earth. Divers glide through water so clear it feels like flying. The visibility can exceed 100 meters. And in some places, the fissure is narrow enough that you can stretch your arms and touch both continents. It's no exaggeration, your body could literally bridge the geological gap between North America and Europe. But this isn't just a cool tourist stop. Silfra sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge, an enormous underwater mountain chain that stretches from the Arctic to the southern tip of Africa. In Iceland, a small part of that ridge breaches the ocean surface, giving scientists a rare chance to study plate tectonics up close. Most of the mid-Atlantic ridge lies hidden beneath the ocean, unreachable to all but deep-sea probes. But Iceland is an open book. Here, scientists can literally walk the dividing line between tectonic plates. And Silfra, along with other fissures in the region, is helping rewrite what we know about how Earth creates new crust. See, when two plates drift apart, magma from deep in the mantle rises to fill the gap. It cools, solidifies, and becomes new oceanic crust. This is how the Atlantic Ocean is slowly widening. But here's where it gets tricky. It doesn't happen in a neat single line. Instead, the plates break apart in swarms of cracks and rifts called fissure swarms. Scientists have discovered that these swarms behave unpredictably. Sometimes the cracks open first. Other times, the magma intrudes and forces the break. Silfra is one of these cracks. By studying Silfra and the surrounding Thingvellir fissure, swarm researchers are creating better models of how faults develop not just here, but across the globe. That's why this place is a geological goldmine. In recent years, Silfra has become one of Iceland's most popular tourist attractions. In 2018, over 60,000 people dove or snorkeled there, and that number keeps rising. While tourism brings awareness and revenue, it also carries a burden. Silfra's ecosystem is fragile. Unlike oceans, where ecosystems rely on phytoplankton floating near the surface, freshwater systems, like Silfra, depend on biofilms, microscopic layers of microbes that coat rocks and lake beds. They're the foundation of the food web. But divers disrupt these biofilms just by moving through the water. A simple brush against a rock can destroy the microbial layer. In one study, over 91% of divers caused at least one disturbance during their dive. With thousands of visits a year, that adds up. And this damage isn't isolated. Silfra's water comes from distant glaciers and rainwater filtered slowly through volcanic rock. It's incredibly pure and incredibly slow to renew. That means contamination lingers. Because Silfra's water is so cold and stable in temperature, the ecosystem there is home to organisms found nowhere else. Some species are endemic, meaning they live only in this specific environment. Others are rare even on a global scale. Yet the very features that make Silfra special, its clarity, its remoteness, its stability, also make it vulnerable. Even minor environmental stress can have long-lasting effects. That's why scientists and park officials are sounding the alarm. Without more careful regulation, the site's ecosystem could face irreversible change. I spoke with Jon, an Icelandic dive instructor who has led over 500 dives through Silfra. You never get used to it, he said. Every time the light, the movement, it's like being inside a cathedral made of water and stone. But Jon has also seen changes. 10 years ago, the rocks were green with life. Now some are bare. We try to teach divers how to move gently, but not everyone listens. Then there's May, a visitor from Taiwan who said diving Silfra was a spiritual experience. I cried in my mask, she admitted, laughing. It felt like touching the Earth's heart. Their stories are a reminder. This place inspires awe, but that awe comes with responsibility. Not everyone needs to dive to appreciate Silfra. Thingvellir National Park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site rich in natural beauty and human history. Over 1,000 years ago, it hosted Iceland's first parliament. There are alternative fissures to dive to, like Nesja and Davidsgam. They're less crowded and offer similar experiences. Exploring them eases pressure on Silfra and broadens our appreciation of Iceland's complex geology. So what can we learn from a crack in the Earth? First, that the planet is alive, constantly reshaping itself through invisible, gradual processes. Second, that our access to its wonders comes with a duty to protect them. And third, that places like Silfra connect us not just physically between continents, but emotionally, spiritually, and scientifically. Silfra reminds us that beauty and fragility often go hand in hand. It's a place where you can quite literally touch two worlds. But if we're not careful, we could lose both. You don't need to dive between tectonic plates to feel connected to the Earth. You just need to pay attention to its rhythms, its stories, and its warnings. So next time you're planning an adventure, remember Silfra. Remember that some of the most powerful places on Earth don't shout, they whisper. And it's up to us to listen.